Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. What's up, family? Welcome back to all of my cousins. If you are new, thank you for joining me here on Tommy Bites TV. So this morning we have a breaking news story out of New York City. So I'm going to jump right into the article. I'm also going to have a clip showing you what I am talking about. This is going to be a heavy news day. So please turn on your post notifications. Make sure your bell is clicked so you know when I upload a video, because they may be coming back to back. This is turning out to be a busier week than I had even expected. So I wanted to rush and get you this story, and I will try to stay on top of it as much as I possibly can. But we knew that this was coming because it had already started in other parts of the world. Nurses are on strike. Let's talk about it. So I'm actually down in my son's room trying to get this work done. More than 7,000 nurses from 2 New York City hospitals are now on strike after contract negotiations fell apart overnight. Talks continue Sunday as 2 more hospitals, Mount Sinai West and Mount Sinai Morningside, tentatively agreed to details. And I spoke about this before in a different video, you guys, if you weren't aware of that. So far, agreements have been reached with a majority of hospitals under strike warnings. However, Mount Sinai Hospital, representing approximately 3,625 nurses, and Montefiore Bronx, representing approximately 3,500, have yet to reach a deal. The Nurses Association did leave a message on Twitter saying that the New York State Nurses Association shared in what's going on, but do not delay getting hospital care if you desperately need it. Montefiore and Mount Sinai will now rely on substitute nurses while continuing to discharge patients. They can safely discharge. Elective surgeries have been postponed. I repeat, elective surgeries have been postponed, and ambulances will continue to be diverted. They say working conditions are unsafe, that they need to strike. They're severely understaffed and overworked, causing dangerous conditions for patients. Nurses are continuing to cheer each other on as more and more nurses are joining the strike each passing minute. Y'all, this is serious. And I know they say don't delay your care, because if you are sick, injured, whatever, please don't delay. Go and get seen. Somebody will see you. They do have substitute nurses there. Now, how long they will have that going on, I have no idea. But this is expected to last as long as it needs to last. Mount Sinai Hospital released a statement overnight saying the New York State Nurses Association walked away from the bargaining table shortly after 1 a.m. So they were deep in conversations, y'all, to 1 a.m. in the morning. NYSNA leadership walked out of negotiations shortly after 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, refusing to accept the exact same 19.1% increased wage offered agreed to 8 other hospitals, including 2 other Mount Sinai Health System campuses, and disregarding the governor's solution to avoid a strike. This is what I don't understand. Don't make it seem like they're the bad guys in this whole situation. You cheered them on in 2019, well, in 2020 and some of 2021. Then you start booing them. Then you don't pay them. You overwork. These are the same nurses that were on the front line that everybody clapped and cheered for, each and every night in New York. Where are the cheers now? They're still dealing with some of the same issues when it comes to COVID-19, Omicron, RSV, you name it. And among this other thing that's out here that I'm not going to talk about right now. And the regular stuff like flu, people having to be treated for cancer. They are overworked. Pay them what they deserve. So the governor can just sit there and So apparently the strike began at 6 a.m. It is now 8:20 that I'm bringing this to you. It says a few hours later, Montefiore put out a statement of its own saying the strike will begin at 6 a.m. Again, I repeat, in this article, it almost makes it seem like the nurses are the bad guys in this situation. So it says, despite Montefiore's offer of 19.1% compounded wage increase, the same offer agreed to by the wealthiest of the peer institutions. So for me, I'm going to say, yeah, okay, the wealthiest of the institutions agreed to the 19.1%, but these other ones won't. Maybe because it's a different breed of patient coming into their facilities. See, if the wealthiest ones are in the better neighborhoods, so they might not be getting bombarded with all of the disrespect and abuse that nurses take from patients. And I worked in the hospital. I know, I was a nurse technician. They beat you up on a daily. So you really cannot get mad at them because, oh, well, your colleagues over here took this apple. Why don't you take a bite of this apple? Well, maybe I don't want that poison apple. So it goes on to say, because I'm getting into my opinions instead of what is in front of me. So it says, despite Montefiore's offer of a 19.1% compounded wage increase, the same offer to the wealthiest of our peer institutions, and a commitment to create over 170 new nursing positions, and despite a call from Governor Hochul for arbitration, NYSNA's leadership has decided to walk away from the bedsides of their patients. See what I'm saying? They're walking away from the bedsides of their patients. They're not giving them good care. No, they're saying they need good care. This is why we're walking away, because you won't do what you need to do. You won't supply us with what we need. I don't believe this is all about money. This is about not having supplies in the hospital ready and available to them. And these are things that they are asking for. So stop saying that these people are walking away from their patients' bedsides, always kicking people when they are down. Nurses, nurse technicians, anybody working in a hospital is working their butts off and doing the best that they can, working a 12-hour shift, and some work more than that. Because if somebody can't come in, guess what? They're asking you, can you stay over? Because I know many times I've worked double shifts. And I'm sorry, but this pisses me off how they're saying that they're walking away from their patients' bedsides. Then they go on to say, we remain committed to families and compassionate care. Well, why don't you be compassionate with your nurses and give them what they are asking for? Give them what they deserve so they can give the patients what they deserve. Patients don't deserve to have the least of it all when they are going through the worst of it all. Y'all, check out these video clips, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, the best way to help this channel is to hit that like button. And I'm asking you, please help this video. Please help this video get out to more and more people. Share it with your family, your friends, and on your social media sites. Peace, love, and light. Thank you for being here on Tommy Bites TV. See you in the next one. Make sure you turn on your post notification, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have more stories about something else today.
We're just minutes away from a massive strike. Thousands of nurses at 2 New York City hospitals are getting ready to walk off the job.
They're without a contract agreement, and talks are now down to the wire. CBS News' John Diaz is live outside Mount Sinai on the Upper East Side. And John, what is the very latest at this point?
Yeah, Chris and Mary, good morning, both of you. I can tell you just a few minutes ago it was confirmed to us that both of these hospitals, both Mount Sinai Hospital here on the Upper East Side, as well as Montefiore Medical Center, nurses there, they will be going on strike in about a half an hour from now. So we are talking about 7,000 nurses just walking out of the hospitals, leaving their patients behind. Many of them starting to congregate right here behind me on the Upper East Side already ahead of this strike. Now, they're saying that they are actually doing this strike for their patients, because are saying that staffing issues have gotten so bad at their hospitals that it's dangerous conditions. One nurse here telling me Mount Sinai has, listen to this, 500 open positions here at this hospital that need to be filled. They say that these conditions are just getting so bad.
They don't need this type of distraction.
Sabrina Jabordi came to Mount Sinai's main campus on the Upper East Side last week with her husband Troy, who has end-stage ALS.
My husband almost went into cardiac arrest. And when we got here, the nurses and doctors did a wonderful job on him.
The potential strike forced their normal hospital to divert patients, which is how they ended up here. And like many loved ones of patients, she's feeling anxious with all the tense contract talks going on. Her fear is what might happen if the nurses who've been at his bedside suddenly leave.
That's something that you never expect to have to deal with, and having to think of dealing with that. He's clinging for his, he's clinging to life as we speak, and they're saving my husband's life, and they're inside right now helping him.
Last week, other area hospitals were able to come to an agreement to avoid a strike. And just yesterday, tentative agreements were reached at Mount Sinai West and Mount Sinai Morningside. Hospital negotiators say that same deal, which included a 19.1% pay increase, was offered to nurses at the main campus. But the New York State Nurses Association says the issue is not just pay, it's also staffing and lack of nurses. In an effort to avoid a strike, Governor Kathy Hochul called for binding arbitration, a process which involves a neutral party. Mount Sinai Health and Montefiore welcomed the proposal, but the nurses union says the governor should respect their federally protected labor and collective bargaining rights, adding they will not give up their fight. Now, Mount Sinai Hospital actually already started preparing for this strike late last week, moving some patients out of their facility. That does include babies out of the neonatal ICUs. You can probably hear them starting to chant right here behind me. This rally just starting, only a couple dozen out here. But this hospital alone will have about 3,500 nurses out here within the next half an hour or so, protesting, again, leaving their patients behind. We already spoke to some of them. They are emotional about this. They said that they did not want this to happen. These hospital administrators, they have just not been listening. And they say that these staffing issues, they are just so dangerous that this needs to be done.